This is Sergey. He likes long walks on the beach in his $1 trillion airplane while sitting on his literal human furniture. That's right, we're taking the Russian path that nobody takes in Wiki 3, the monarchist, autocratic, free trade society. Boys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. After the 1.97 patch, Russia has become a lot more difficult, especially since you cannot use the treaties anymore to pass legislation since you already are a great power. So politically speaking, this is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a fun one because Russia is still insanely overpowered, in my opinion. Probably the most powerful nation out of all of them. So if we do get 4,000 likes in this video, I will be doing the second part of the campaign. In the first part, this part, we're going to early industrialize and modernize Russia. And in the second part, we might just go full on militaristic and be a little bit naughty, I guess you could say. Before we get to being naughty, we do have a ton of issues we need to deal with. First off, a big chunk of our nation is not yet incorporated. I would like to fix that, so that's going to be amongst my priorities. Before we get to that though, let's start with the basics, talking about choosing our technologies. I will be going for lattes and atmospheric engine water tube boilers so we can actually industrialize, queue up banking, mass communication, everything else in the society tier 1 to reach nationalism and central archives. With that done, let's go to the budget. We are not taxing our people very much, which is surprising, but we do have a consumption tax on liquor, voted best type of water by Russians in 1836 and surprisingly in 2025 as well. We're gonna add an extra tax on services, and we're gonna be lowering our government wages and military wages. Before we do that though, we're gonna use the excess authority that we've got to suppress the absolutist movement. Why is that? Because they support the laws that we absolutely hate. I'm talking about traditionalism, hereditary bureaucracy, autocracy, blah 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 blah, all the laws that we need to get rid of. They're very much on board with, so this might possibly help us get this political movement not pressure the interest groups into adhering to these particular laws. It's not a guarantee though, it's kind of like rolling the dice, but it is better than nothing. We're also going to try and diversify our government by bringing in the Orthodox Church and the armed forces, known clearly for their progressive views on the world. Am I right? First law is going to be dedicated police force, just so we have an easier time with turmoil, because we will expect a lot of turmoil in our lands. In fact, Russia, the full name of Russia is the Russian Turmoil Empire. That's the genuine full name, guys, clearly. They also absolutely nerfed the corn laws into the ground, so yeah, this is gonna be a fun one for sure. Let's go ahead and also change our production methods here to the more optimal ones. Something that you guys love to see on the channel, going for secular administration, is not possible because we start with state religion as our church and state legislation. So it's kind of one of those moments where if you're not Orthodox, you're gonna have to convert. The bright side, we have an insane amount of wood. We're basically the world's #1 producer of wood, but we have no coal mines. We've got 20 iron mines and 0 coal mines. Explain that to me, guys. Like, actually explain that. It just makes no sense, really. We do have some glass work, so we're gonna change over to the market square, and before we switch to gas streetlights, we will have to build up some coal mines, of course. Now, Q wise, first thing we're doing is we're changing to iron frame production method because we do have a lot of iron mines, so we can sustain that. And a big chunk of our iron mines are actually in the Urals as well as in Saratov. Saratov is the biggest iron mine state, actually. Unfortunately, Saratov is an unincorporated state, which means it's 33% less construction efficiency, so we're not going to be building in Saratov. We will be prioritizing states that are full integral states, incorporated states, such as Perm, which is one of my personal favorite states. Look at that, 160,000 pops looking for jobs, 75 iron mines, 80 coal mines, but the only issue is the infrastructure, only plus 20 infrastructure, so we're gonna have to diversify this a little bit. However, for the first few years, this is fine. We're gonna do 5 construction sectors and then work our way from there as we progress. We're also gonna use road maintenance and social mobility in this particular state, and for the rest of the authority, we're just gonna use the political lens to assign. Of course, I totally don't randomly assign with right clicking. I always use the political lens, guys. I'm not a I'm a goblin. We will prioritize the most populated states. So off the top of my head, I would say these are probably the most populated ones, or maybe I just like because they're close to each other. Let's actually check the population map mode. Yeah, no, I was pretty close. Actually, Kiev and Krakow are the most populated in this area, so we can switch over from Yaroslav and Tver to Kharkov and Kiev. Boom. And for that matter, Kiev is actually a really good industrial state too. It doesn't have that many iron mines, but it has a good mix of logging camps, iron mines, and coal mines. 32 logging camps, by the way, it's just insane. So we will be focusing most of our industry in the western parts of the country, as you'd imagine, especially early in the campaign. And we will have to build some more government administration. So let's say in whichever state has the highest tax capacity reduction. So we're doing these administration buildings in these states because that way we can actually tax the people in those states so we don't lose the money from those particular areas. I'll be progressively showing what I have in the construction queue so you guys don't miss out. Don't worry. For now, just 5 of these just so I can see exactly what's happening and how many more are needed afterwards. Probably going to be a lot though, since we only get a small amount of taxation capacity per government administration right now, at least until we get better production methods. If I go to very high government wages, I could probably squeeze another promote social mobility, and then of course back to very low wages. Beautiful. I will not lower the military wages simply because I will be doing a few wars early in the campaign too. There's a couple of options when it comes to your Kazaki areas. You could just reduce autonomy from day one, and that way you could probably do the journal entry easy, or you could just go the other route and piss them off so they can start their little rebellion, in which case you can just annex them after they start the little rebellion. I kind of feel like that's an exploit though, personally. Everybody's entitled to their playstyle. There's no right or wrong when it comes down to it, right? It's just about how you enjoy your game. We have good relations with the Prussians and with the Austrians, and I'd like to keep them as such because we can use both of them for resources. Especially we could use them for whatever resources we don't have and we might have need of, as well as heck, look at that, we can even do trade privilege with the Prussians from day one. I'm actually going to do with the Austrians to military access. That way we're going to get improved relations by up to plus 25 with them without having to do anything. We also start with one company from day one, the Russian American company, which is again a new thing. Look at this guy, Executive Ivan Kuprayanov. He looks like such an absolute scumbag, does he? Looks like he has people he sits on instead of furniture. That's the kind of person I expect this person to be. The Russian American company affects certain industries that might or might not be amazing. We could also give them coal mines, and I think I'm actually going to do that, as well as investment rights and trade rights. Why the schnitzel not? Do we have any more charters? We do not. Okay, so hopefully they grow up. Considering they have already 5 available industries, they should get pretty strong. Look at this, guys. We have 3,000 extra wood. We could do a lot of trade right there. We do have some shortages too. We have a lot of sugar shortage, a lot of clothing shortage, and I feel like the Eastern nations might have what we desire. That being said, I'm not going to do any treaties with Qing because I'm going to attack them. Qing owns lands that rightfully belong to us. Everybody knows this. I'm also going to change my army so I have a better understanding of which army this is. Basically going to color code it and assign it to either the Eastern or the Western front, as well as make sure it's set up on state so I know exactly where that particular regiment is based in. We also want to upgrade all of our units to the latest model, and we also merge all of our fleet into one major fleet. I will be disbanding a lot of my capital ships. I do not need that many capital ships. I'm going to keep, say, 10 of them just in case we actually need to do some proper naval battle. No, I'm not going to do that. Nope. I'm going to have only 35 frigates. It's more than enough as the Russians. We don't need more than that. War number 1 against one of our little Schnitzeldorfs here. Also, I think we can definitely do some more construction sectors. I'm going to get another 5 of them in Perm for now. Okay, so considering the extra construction sectors, we now have insane shortages of iron. So yeah, we're going to have to build up more iron mines as consequence. That's why I built these construction sectors in Perm. And considering we only have 70% market access in our states, we would be paying 30% more for importing that iron from our other states into Perm instead of just getting it in Perm, right? So building everything here, the entire industry here is just massive brain. That's also why we're going to queue up 5 tooling workshops again in Perm itself. And the problem is we only have 8 extra infrastructure now. So you know what? I may have made a mistake. Okay, we're only going to do 10 iron mines, not the tooling workshops. So I think I'm going to to do something else, guys. I'm going to be building in Krakow. Krakow is a good state. It has a lot of iron mines. So we're going to do 10 iron mines. We're going to do 5 tooling workshops here. And once these are done, we're going to do more construction sectors. When it comes to universities, I do like having at the very least one university in every single state because I like to get the qualifications alongside the innovation. So after I've got one uni in every single state, I can get a bunch of them in one major state to get the extra throughput bonus. That being said, our innovation cap is 72, so one uni in every state is fine for the start of the campaign, at least for the Russians. And now we also have some bureaucracy, so let's go ahead and do what I said earlier. Let's incorporate some more states. I would like to incorporate all of the states if possible, starting with all of the Siberian parts, because this is less population, so it's actually less bureaucracy to incorporate this. The wars are also not going to stop coming. We're going to continuously lower autonomy of our subjects, and once we're done with that, we're just going to be flat out attacking the Qing for the historical Russian borders of Manchuria. One thing I noticed is that with the current patch, at least, nobody wants to trade for iron, so it's impossible. I've tried, trust me. You would have to give an arm and a couple of states just to get a little bit of iron from the nations that do have iron early in the campaign. So for the start of the campaign, in freaking possible, guys. There you go. We got dedicated police force. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'll switch over to legal guardianship. I'm doing this because I would love to get the 5% birth rate. I find this way better than the 5% workforce ratio, which is kind of pointless. And it's also time that we queue up a few more government administration buildings now, as well as temporarily we're going to be increasing our taxes so we don't completely go into debt. We got some better production methods available as well, which should make a bit of a difference now. And we do start as the Russians with a lot of gold mines. We're going to start queuing these up. I'll queue the one in Kelyabinsk because it's an incorporated state. Same with the Arkhangelsk. It's an incorporated state, so I'm going to be out queuing it too. The rest of these, I'm not out queuing. I'm just going to do them after the iron mines because they're going to be a little bit more expensive to build. Oh, we have a choice of what to do with the London conference. I'm going to favor the Dutch claims just because I want to, okay? That's 683 prestige. How much prestige do the English actually have? They start with 925. Oh my god, London is overpowered. There you go. Legal guardianship was actually extremely easy to pass because everybody wants it passed. Something that I would absolutely love to go for is cultural exclusion. That would accept all of my pops, but I don't know if we really would be able to pass that though. I'll try. If it fails, I might reload the game and just try to go for racial segregation instead, because both of them are better than what we have right now. Oh my god, I love this. We are so OP, it's crazy. Now, because it's an unincorporated state of Qing, and that's also why I'm attacking so early, it's only 2.2 infamy to grab the Manchurian parts. If we waited for this for longer, they would incorporate these areas, and as a consequence, they would be a lot more expensive. Look at that. We're getting Northern Jilin for 2.2 infamy as well. It's literally nothing. So yeah, the meta basically is to just attack Qing as soon as the campaign starts to grab as much land for basically 0 to no infamy. The cool part about our army is also that we have line infantry, whereas the Qing only have irregulars, so it's going to be like a knife going through butter right now, this war. It really is basically just taking candy from a little Qing kid. So we also managed to get our first mandate, which is good. That's because we've got quite a few minor nations in our power block. We've got a few options here. Vassalization is not a bad one because it increases the amount of authority that we get per subject, and we really do want that extra authority. Plus, once we reach level 3, we're going to have an extra 25 income transfer from subjects, which is pretty significant. I will be changing the defensive cooperation once I get more mandate, because that is one of the worst principles. I really don't care for that at all. Now, the pacification of the steppes, the journal entry that I was talking earlier in the video, basically, if we increase their liberty desire above 80, they will start the little rebellion, which allows us to annex all of this area for no issues. All right, our troops are basically at the gates of Beijing now, so I'm curious what the world's going to look like after this initial war. Also, have you guys seen that Paradox with the more recent patch has done the unthinkable? They've made it so the British are a lot more likely to fight in case you're attacking South Africa, which is good. It's about time they actually quote-unquote buffed South Africa a little bit. Look at that. We took only the... Oh my god, this is horrible. This is the worst borders I've seen ever. Ugh, what is this, man? Oh god, this is actually horrible. I forgot to take Inner Mongolia. That's why, in case you're wondering. I should have taken Inner Mongolia as well. And Southern Jilin. Then it would have looked a lot better. But you know what? It's fine. So the areas that we took obviously are very low population areas. We've only grown in population by a tiny little bit. The biggest population hub is Southern Heilongjiang, which has 3 million population from the areas that we've taken. Most of the high population areas are in obviously the provinces that we have not actually taken for ourselves. Look at that. Look at the population difference between those areas and the rest of the planet. I think the only other part aside from India, of course, that is brighter in that particular regard is Bohemia, which leads me to the next thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm thinking about doing a run as the Bohemians. So release myself as Bohemia from Austria and play Toll as Bohemia and just see how freaking overpowered I can get the Bohemian state. Alternatively, I could also just play as Austria, not expand, and just try and make Bohemia the most insane state ever. See if I can get like 50 million population or something. I'd love to see that happen. Just basically focus 100% of my industry and just everything in one state to see how powerful we can get it. Because I do think Bohemia alongside Silesia and Saxony are the three most potential states in Europe, at least in Western Europe, technically Central Western. Oh, I can invite a nation to the power block. I can invite Montenegro. Oh my god, of course I will. They're an integral part of my society. Everybody loves Montenegro here. Speaking of, everybody also loves the Greeks. They love them so much, we might even make them a protectorate. We don't even need to do that though. We just have to improve relations with them, absolve their obligation with us, and that will probably make them join our power block, and then we can just use our power block ability to turn them into a subject, pretty much. Yeah, they are very close to joining our power block. I'm gonna get a few treaties with them, so I'm gonna do investment right, which will give me a lot of leverage over them. I'm also gonna guarantee them just so the Turks don't wipe them out, and actually I will be giving them trade privileges too, and a power block embassy. Why the freaking schnitzel not? Oh my god, we actually went to consideration phase. Freaking hell, that is the best news. I really hope we get cultural exclusion. That would be honestly a massive deal for us if we pass it. And there you go, we have done the silent steppes, which means we can annex all of the steppe lands now without having to go to war with them, and it's not that difficult. Just a couple of years and we basically finished that. Best part is that now we also have claims on the rest of these stands. I'm talking Pakistan, Sgabistan, Skimabidistan. Only one of those is actually a stand. Can you guess which one? No, nobody can. It's impossible, okay? Nobody can. All right, Kokan, time for you to return to Coke. and what coke and coke and opium. It's mostly coke and opium. So the cool part is with the return state interaction, we basically are paying nothing right now to fully annex these nations. Only problem is they are fearful, so they might back down, which means we will likely have to make these primary demands, which means that it's going to be a little bit of extra infamy as consequence. So we're going to go above 50 infamy for quite a few of these wars, unfortunately. Hey, we've got atmospheric engines. Yay. That's actually amazing because it means we don't have any more issues with our mines, so we can start spamming even more construction sectors finally. We do need to get those coal mines beforehand though, because I actually forgot to build them up. So let's say we get 5 AltQ coal mines in Kharkov. Adoption phase. Oh my god, is this actually gonna happen? Are we gonna have cultural exclusion, which means that pretty much all the European pops are gonna be very much so accepted in essence? So that's a big chunk of our population actually. Afghanistan's petitioning for assistance. An excellent opportunity for us to leverage over Kabul. I'd like that. Yeah, we also need a lot of paper apparently, so let's go ahead and first off set everything to 0 tariffs, because tariffs in this game, especially with this patch, is not it, guys. I'm telling you now, we lose more from having tariffs than anything. The less tariffs you have, the more likely your trade centers are going to be a lot better off, and you're going to make more profit off of that, which is why free trade is meta, by far the meta. So we got cultural exclusion. That's actually huge. US also made us their rivals. Whoa, Americans. Cannot believe this. I thought you're my friend. Well, screw you too, Americaner. I'm gonna build some construction sectors in Tula because there's a lot of population there. Do we even have iron mines and coal mines? We do. So then we can queue up some more coal mines here as well, and maybe some tooling workshops and some iron mines too, because we also have a buttload of infrastructure, 28 infrastructure, which is cool. Oh, can invite another country. Is it the Greeks? It is the Greeks. I freaking knew it. it, bro. All right, cool. So now let's change from the defensive cooperation thing, which I don't like. I would love to go for advanced research, but we're not going to get a education institution for quite some time, so that would be a waste. I think either a combination of construction with companies is not a bad idea, because that way we get a secondary company too, and more charters and company throughput bonus, as well as food standardization, just so we double down on the population. Plus, we might need market unification, but to be fair, I don't think it's necessary, since everybody in my power block will eventually be a subject, so they're going to be in my market regardless, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and go for companies first. Boom. Speaking of companies, it seems like the American-Russian company is very productive. They're close to getting their prestige good, actually. We're making 8.3 and growing progress on this, as we were in the top 3 producers of meat. Everybody likes to eat my meat. Well, what do you know? Gold has been discovered in a province that I didn't pay attention to, but it's been discovered somewhere. It's here, and now more. We've got more gold, guys. I actually saw a documentary recently about Tuva, and I found out that Tuva is in essence the worst place imaginable in Russia. It's like one of those places you really never want to end up in, basically. It's like a meme. You know, like certain countries have like a place that's a meme. Like US has Florida as a meme. Well, yeah, the Russians basically have Tuva as that. Oh my god, it is so Jover. We got water 2 boilers. Oh yeah, baby. That's right. We're gonna be insanely OP now already. Oh wow, I can actually already invite Kabul to my power block. I'm gonna use obligation just so it's confirmed 100%. I don't want them to even think about not joining my power block. Yeah, we also have a demand for sulfur now, since we've changed to the sulfing paper production method for our paper mills, which means we're gonna have 5 sulfur mines in Kursk. Speaking of, Kursk has gone undetected. 66 infrastructure, 93 iron mine. Oh my god, I am building up Kursk like a Schnitzeldorf. This place is crazy. I'm gonna get my steel mills in here as well, and tooling workshops, and I'm gonna make them straight up steel production method, the tooling workshops, as well as more construction sectors after in here. I should have built in Kursk from day one, actually. We also have a agitator that we can invite, which will support the peasant movement, and he is also a land reformer, so he is literally what we need right now. I'm also able to get the rural folk into government, which means I have some options when it comes to legislations now. It is going to be, of course, super RNG. I would love to pass agrarianism, and I would also love to pass homesteading, or at least tenant farmers, but I feel like agrarianism might have more of a chance, since there's less opposition for agrarianism compared to homesteading and tenant farming. And also, agrarianism has the highest impact right now out of all the laws available. Wow, there's so much gold in Arkhangelsk. I've discovered even more gold fields now. That is insane, dude. I mean, I know that Russia has a ton of gold, right? Russia has the highest amount of gold out of all nations in the game, by the way. But I didn't even know that they have it in the northern western parts. Like, I thought most of it is going to be in Siberia. I mean, crazy how maybe they should just nerf this a little bit, because especially for multiplayers, the amount of gold mines the Russians have carries them big time. Now, I'm not saying that historically they didn't have it, but I'm just saying maybe they shouldn't have it in the game for balance purposes. And it's official, the Russian-American company is now producing a prime meat. In case you're wondering, yeah, that's right, that's the prime meat from Ark Survival Evolved. We just slaughtered Tyrannosauruses. That's what we do with this company in Alaska. You thought all that oil in Alaska was coming from dinos underground that got fossilized and became oil? No, no, we're turning real animals into prime meat. That's the actual resource in Alaska, okay? Oh, I just realized it's giving 5% conversion. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't expect that from a company. Speaking of, let's see what our acceptances are. So we got a lot of Russians right now. 49 million are primary pops. Second citizens are 6 million, 2 million on third level, and a little bit on first and second. Most of the ones on first are probably Han Chinese or Tatars, Uzbeks, old pops in Asia, aren't they? Yeah. So right now we got 33 million Russians, and we're getting 6,000 converted a month. Ukrainians 11 million, Poles around 5, and so on. Okay, that's interesting. How about Orthodoxy? We're getting 11,000 a month converted to Orthodoxy. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. I want to see the religious map mode now, because I remember in my Byzantine campaign, I don't know if you guys have watched it, we were able to convert most of Anatolia to Orthodox, but it really took a while, like really took a while. Okay, so most of the country is actually Orthodox with a little bit of animus. These are the local Siberian Assyrians, I would assume, with their local religions. Oh, Egyptian Ottoman crisis. Hot diggity dongalong. Wait, do I not have an interest in there? I do have, right? No, I don't. Oh God, I don't have an interest in there. Why do I have one in France, for Christ's sake? I don't need an interest in France and Italy. Give me an interest in here. Oh no, I really wanted to join in on this war because I could have taken some lands or broken up the Ottomans a little bit more. I guess that's on me. I should have thought about this from before. Actually, speaking of, I probably want to be attacking and making the Persians into my protectorate before the English do, because the English absolutely would love to get the Persians under their control. And also we need more construction sectors. What did I say? Kursk? Yeah, let's get 5 of them in Kursk for now. We already overtook the British. Oh dude, there's a leadership play already. What? Okay, that's kind of crazy because I would love to see a strong Germany, but at the same time I would love not to see a strong Germany, you know what I mean? Not gonna get involved though, because I want to have good relations both with the Austrians and the Germans, so I'm not gonna try and sneakily take stuff from... Wait. Burma? Investment rights in Burma. Yeah, you know what, Burma? Why don't you join my power block? Yeah, actually, why don't you join my power block? I would love you in the power block. Moldova also wants me to build in their country. Everybody loves us for some reason. Makes you think, how bad was the situation for these nations back in the day, am I right? 31 infamy right now for the Persians. I guess I can wait till I get down to like 20 infamy before I attack them. I'll be honest with you guys, I have not actually played Russia in a really long time in Wiki 3, and there have been some changes. I do, it is starting to come back though. I remember that Yaroslav was also one of my favorite states. Despite not having a lot of resources, it has 67 freaking logging camps, which is ridiculous. Not only that, but it has an insane population pool, 800,000 pops to put to work. It also has an amazing amount of infrastructure, 69. So early on, probably Yaroslav and Kursk would be the best 2 states in order to build up those industries in a closed sort of circuit before expanding everywhere else once you get more tech and once you get railways. Speaking of railways, is going to be researched very soon. I'm going to do it now, actually. Finish those railways so we can start to properly, massively industrialize after that's done. We're also going to queue up dialectics so we get more innovation out of our universities. And we're going to try and get ourselves to mechanized workshops for the better production methods for textile mills and furniture manufacturers. Our innovation cap has also increased, so we're going to need more unis now. Let's make sure we out-click these unis too. We can say, get a few around these areas here. Oh my god. Guys, should I do this? Should I do this? Would I be the worst person ever if I did this? This would basically get rid of the American threat for me, okay? This would literally get rid of the American threat. Let's be honest here. But I'm not gonna do it because that would be too much of a cheese ball. Maybe I'll just take one state. Maybe I'll take the best state from them. Oh, should I? This is basically free for taking, man. This is actually free for... They got 25 battalions. I could literally just take the west coast of the US and never have to worry about the Americans ever again, don't I? Oh, do I do it? I was kind of planning just getting Asian parts, not expanding into Africa and South America. But just because the Americans rivaled me and I freaking don't like it. Oh, I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it hard. Oh, you can also lower the autonomy of the Finns to puppet level. That's pretty good. And finally, we've got railways. Oh, my boys. This is going to be huge. This is going to be amazing. I'll queue in just the 4 main states where we really need it, and the rest of this should be fine. It does mean we're going to need a motor industry, so let's do that too. And we also can switch over all of our tooling workshops to the steel production method now. Wait, what happened here? Did the Austrians win the war? I think they did, because the Germans didn't form the North German Federation. Oh, what the hell? Russian dream? What the hell is that? Oh, the Persians back down. Okay, that's actually both good and bad. It's bad because I only had one primary goal, making them a puppet. I had a lot of secondary goals that I really wanted to enforce too, namely making them cancel their claims on our lands here. Doesn't make much of a difference. It's just like an RP thing that I like to do, but hey, it is what it is. Whatever the case, we do have a lot of infamy now, so we're gonna have to just chill for a little while, but maybe after we take Bukhara, because I just don't like the borders, okay? I'm gonna chill right after this. For now, we gotta take this out, because look at this, man. This is just horrible. Look at it. Actually, look at it. Look how ugly it is. We're gonna take all of that stuff for ourselves. They are fearful. Please don't back down. Oh man, do I need to make these primary demands as well? I guess I do. Okay, just to be safe. I don't want them backing down out of that. Open Japanese market. Oh my god. That's actually not a bad deal, Japan. I would probably take that if I was you. They did. Good. That's very smart. I've seen that happen a lot in this patch, actually. The Japanese opened their market from foreign powers attacking. That's actually good, because that's how historically it happened, right? So it should be in the game. I believe I may have spoken a little bit too soon when it comes to the Germans, because they did eventually unify. Why is Hanover not a part of the North German Federation, though? That's the real question. They're also not a junior partner of the British, so I'm not sure what happened there, but I don't like the borders, though. I genuinely don't like the border. Oh, Moldova's a puppet of the Ottomans? No, we gotta fix that. We actually have to fix that. That's not acceptable. Oh, time for a second company. Let's go. Now, I do feel like the metalworks is not a bad choice here, seeing as we will be using a lot of tools throughout the campaign. And we can also give them iron mine industries, so that way they have both iron mine and tools, both of the most productive type of buildings for us right now, and probably for most of the campaign until we get automobiles at least. We haven't really been building any clothing manufacturers or furniture manufacturers because we've been trying to focus on the industry, but I feel like maybe we should start mixing in some of that too, as well as more paper mills, because apparently paper is a pretty big problem for us. So I'm gonna queue up 5 paper mills in Moscow more, and I'm gonna say sprinkle a little bit of furniture and textile mills around every single province in my country for 2 reasons. First off, I need to give people jobs. Most of my provinces do not have any jobs because I just don't have buildings in there because I haven't built anything. And second off, it's gonna bypass the market access price impact problem which I have. Namely, I don't have market access very high. I think it's like 80% right now, so that way they don't pay the 20% extra of having to import their clothes and furniture from other provinces, right? That being said, whilst this is being built, we're going to continue to scale up the industry. So that means we're going to do more construction sectors now. So we're going to do an extra 5 in Kursk, an extra 5 in Tula, and then we're going to do more tooling workshops and more iron mines as required in these provinces too. So after the construction sectors are done, I'm going to do an extra 6 tooling workshops in Tula. We already have the ones queued up in Kursk, so that should work pretty well with one another. Hey, we also managed to get Jack the Stripper. Oh my god, Austria is kicking Ottoman ass. I hope they have some good deals there though, like liberating Bulgaria or something. No, they just want to conquer one province. That whole war for a freaking province, really? I'm gonna go homesteading first. If this fails, I saved my game, so you're not even gonna know about it, buddy boy. That's right, I'll reload, I'll go for tenant farmers, and I'll be like, oh, we're going tenant farmers because a little birdie told me that homesteading might not be it today. I love the fact that you can save games and it's still achievement compatible. I know it's very controversial. A lot of people are like, you should only get achievement if you have Iron Man game. I disagree with that. My take on that is that, bro, people are gonna be alt F4ing anyway. Okay, let's be honest here. I alt F4 and U4. You do too, and just the fact that you have to restart your game after alt F4ing, it's basically the same like reloading the game. There's no difference between me making different copies of my Iron Man save and crashing and reloading the whatever year I made a bookmark of, and just this is the same thing. Okay, it's just less complicated and doesn't take the effort of crashing and everything, right? Because let's face it, we are humans and we are gonna do it. No matter what you say, I know you're gonna do it. You cannot lie to me. I know you. I freaking know you, Jonathan. I know you. Okay, buddy, stop crashing a game and then cry about why is this game not achievement compatible, blah blah blah. Okay, stop it. You have a problem. Oh, purchasing emancipation. Homesteading progresses by 1 phase, but it loses 10 succession. So that means we progress by 1 phase, but we get 1 setback. Also, we're making quite a lot of money, so I will be expanding my construction sectors. Seeing as we now have the ability to just get as much infrastructure as possible from railways, I'll be using my main proper states of Perm, Kiev, Kharkov, all these juicy states that I was talking about earlier. Oh, Austria would like me to give them some iron. Some Iran. They will let me march my armies through their country. Okay, jokes aside, guys, we actually need a lot more construction sectors. So let's do 15 more in Tambov, which is another state that we have an insane amount of population. See, that's the thing with the Russians. There's never going to be a shortage population or shortage of resources in this country. You literally don't even need to expand at all if you don't want to, and you still will have more resources and population than you're ever going to be able to use, right? Look at that. We got 14 million peasants right now that we need to employ. That is ridiculous, man. If I was playing this properly, I would just spam 4 times more construction sectors than I got right now, just so I can put everybody to work in essence. Oh, look at that. We already are able to lower the autonomy of the Persians. Kek. That's so easy. It's insane that we have 2 entire lines of gold mines being queued up right now. And it's not even the start of the amount of gold mines we're gonna have. We're probably gonna have a few hundred gold mines as the Russians, which is ridiculous. And yes, in case you're wondering, I'm almost 100% sure that I'm gonna fail homesteading, which is very sad. I'm not even gonna reload the game. It is just a very sad day. But hey, it happens. I'm not gonna stay here and be all like, oh yeah, I'm gonna reload the game so I get better RNG. No, I'm not like that. I joke about being like that, but I'm not actually like that. There you go. We failed it, boys. 3rd setback. That means I'm gonna try now and go for tenant farmers, and fingers crossed I actually get this one. Also doing a bit of spring cleaning, quote unquote, in the Stani areas, just so we have less neighbors. Now, despite having already reached the innovation cap, we're still able to technically get more innovation from the technological spread. That's basically unspent innovation. So if you get extra universities, the unspent innovation is going to go in the technology spread. It's not much, it's not super efficient, but if you do have a lot of money, you could always prop up, quote unquote, your technology by getting more technology spread. That's actually a really good tactic if you're playing as Qing and you have a super good economy, or heck, even as us, as the Russians, right? Oh, I can subjugaticus Kabbalah as well. Do I want to though? I think I might wait until they attack Herat, so I don't need to worry about that. They can do it themselves. A great day for all Russians. Alexander Romanov is now the leader. That's totally a Russian accent in case you're wondering. But we got new modernization movement created as consequence of our beloved new Tsar, and he is an absolute Chad. He is a market liberal, which means that he endorses literally all the laws that we would like for him to endorse. Technically, he became Tsar in March of 1855, so it's a little bit late for us. And he was a liberal Tsar. He definitely tried to do a lot of reforms to bring Russia on par with the rest of the world and modernize it. He really tried his best. He got assassinated in 1881 because he really tried his best, you know? So that says everything you need to know about the Russians in the 19th century. We do have a few journal entries because of Mr. Alexander Romanov, namely the peasant reform, where we need to have either tenant farmers or commercialized agriculture, military reform, where we need to have skirmishers. This is similar to how the Tanzimats work for the Ottomans. So this is a pretty cool thing that they added. I love this. I don't want to jinx this, but it does seem like we might actually pass this. Again, I don't want to jinx it because we were really close with passing homesteading too, and we still failed, right? And seeing that Kabul is not doing anything, I'm just going to go ahead and subjugate them. I was kind of hoping that they're going to attack Herat, but it's fine. I can just take Herat for myself. Okay, dude, come on, come on, come on, come on. We need this. We need this badly because we really have to modernize, guys. We're so behind everybody else right now. An offer for Alaska. The land is worthless. Let the Americans have it. No, we're not going to let the Americans have it. In fact, we might steal California from the Americans if we really want to, okay? Screw you, US. You rivaled me. I'm mad. I'm really mad. Finally, our truce is over with the Caucasian nations, so we can attack these nations too. Speaking of, I know a lot of you guys want me to do a video as Circassia or the Caucasian Imamat. I'm curious which one though, because I will eventually do one. I just don't know which one, because I feel like Circassia is a little bit easier, right? Since you have access to the sea, where you can trade with other nations, whereas the Caucasian Imamat is really just death. It's death on a stick. I don't even know how to start surviving as this nation, let alone thrive as them. Now, okay, we're gonna be going for less taxes too and more construction sectors. It's like the recurrent theme as the Russians. You just get more and more and more construction sectors like crazy. We got tenant farmers. That means we did one of our great reforms, the peasant reform. The fall of Circassia. Kuban becomes a Ukrainian and Russian homeland as consequence. Okay, with this conquest too, we now have the Imamats, and so we have two options. We can have peace found in Chechnya at last, or there will be no peace whilst Shamil is still being revered. That will really radicalize the shit out of people there for a certain amount of time. Or we get permanent assimilation and conversion debuffs. Yeah, no, I don't care about radicalizing them then. Now we do have a ton of turmoil here. In order to do the journal entry, we need to bring that turmoil down below 25. Easiest way to do it, aside from obviously decrees, is to give them jobs. Give them productive jobs and they're going to be happy. Most are going to spend a little bit of infamy to annex Finland and the Baltic governorates. I'm doing this because these lands might fall under the hands of the Swedes if I'm not careful, especially Finland I'm talking about here. Once they get pan-nationalism, they might, depending on their choices, they might be able to go to war with the Finns, and I might not be able to help my own puppet. So I don't want to be in that situation. I'd rather just not have any sort of situation in Europe. In fact, I'd rather have direct ownership over all all the lands that I own in Europe, which is why I'm annexing both of them right now. There you go. That's one down. So now we're going to have to also incorporate all these provinces, which means we're going to need more bureaucracy. Oh, wow. France is on the Austrian side too. Okay, I feel like Germany might not get unified. Okay, we're making progress, boys. We're making progress. Hopefully it's going to be the historical death of Alexander, because the reforms get cut out once he dies. He died in 1881, so we got a good 10 plus years more. We should be fine. Alrighty, let's not completely die now, please. That would be the most optimal thing to do. I don't have skirmishers. I should have skirmishers though, so I'm gonna have to start building up some munition plants. I haven't even gotten any yet. Gonna outqueue 5 munitions plants. That should be enough for me to upgrade all my units to skirmishers. Okay, it's actually going semi-decent. We've got a little bit of an advantage. They did manage to push into our lands a little bit though, so I'm not happy with that. Oh, and I just realized the Ottomans actually won against the Egyptians. Does that mean the Ottomans managed to do their Tanzimats then? They probably did, didn't they? Holy shit, minus 2,000 bureaucracy. That is crazy. I've got 20% tax waste. That is really, really bad. That's because we don't get the minus 25% bureaucracy population cost multiplier that we used to get from hereditary bureaucracy. All right, let's attempt to go for proportional taxation straight. We're skipping over per capita. Oh, dude, we went to adoption phase with proportional. That is really good. That makes up for all the bad RNG we had with laws early in the campaign, actually. Well, if it isn't the third company that we're going to be establishing. I like this really unique Russian one, the Zava Morozov. It allows us to get more population attraction for industrialists. Not only that, but it affects designer clothes. It's not a bad one. There's some better ones, like Russia Iron. What? Hold on a second here. I didn't even know this one exists. I'm definitely going for this one. New Russia Company Ltd. Okay, that is crazy. And we can give them railways. Oh my god, this is actually huge. I also need to get more subjects in order to unlock my fourth principle. I need to have 10 members in my power block in essence. Right now I have 9 members in the power block, so I need one more. Easiest way is to just get some more subjects. And hey, we did the second reform. Now we just got to do the military reform, which is actually pretty easy. We got to enact a mass conscription, for which we need to have invented enlistment offices. So maybe it's not that easy, actually. I feel like it should not require mass conscription, in my opinion. All right, now we officially have all of the great game areas under our control. So I guess that means we won the great game, didn't we? Also, we've got a market liberal in charge of gentry assembly, so we can make some changes in our country, including going for free trade. I'm gonna try and rush for that, as well as laissez-faire. So if we pass these two legislations, that would be insane. That we would propagate ourselves into literal outer space. We would become a space-faring nation as consequence. Okay, I'm saying it. We would go into space like the Poles can. Let's also see what's happening in the world market. So right now, let's see what shortages they have. Paper, we're the world's greatest producer of paper. We're the world's greatest producer of most things, for that matter. Now, these are the nations that are importing, and these are the nations that are exporting. Right now, we're the biggest exporter of paper with 934. I feel like once we get free trade, we're going to be able to double down on this even more. So furniture is also a big problem in the world market. The glass, apparently, so that means nations are starting to switch over to the steel frame production method for their construction sectors. I have not yet. Once that's done, glass is going to be an issue for me too. I'm a little bit far from that though. How far away am I? Actually, I'm not that far away. I could technically just rush for this, right? Yeah, we could do that. All right, so now with these nations in the power block, we can go for the fourth principle, which will be eventually advanced research once we actually have an educational institution, which we do not have right now. Remember that. So getting this now would be useless. Instead, we can get for now police coordination. I feel like this is very, very underrated. Either police coordination or construction. Construction probably the better one though, because police coordination can give up to 250 authority, which if you're a democracy and you're lacking authority, it can be a pretty significant boost. We're not a democracy, so we're not really lacking authority at all. There you go. We're also officially first when it comes to GDP now, and we absolutely can sustain more construction sectors, so let's spam some more. The core lands over here of our country really need to get more industrial development, don't they? Oh, actually, I haven't built in Kiev at all. Holy shit. Let's get some construction sectors in there. 20 should be fine for now. And we almost fixed our taxation issues, with the exception of obviously the Chinese areas, which we're never going to be able to fix the taxation issues, let's face it. Let's also go ahead and lower the tax back down to low taxes. taxes and then slowly move it to very low taxes again. Now, the areas in which I got the decrees, if I build a power block statue, I would actually save up 25 authority per province. So maybe I'm gonna build a power block statue in all the states where eventually I'll try to get some decrees, right? Because I'm gonna try and get social mobility in these states which have the highest population for me. I love how basically everybody now is either giving me free investment rights or at the very least an embassy. Oh wow, we went to consideration phase on the first tick. That's actually pretty lucky. You know what's not lucky? The fact that we probably won't do the military reform simply because of the mass conscription. We have everything else done, but the mass conscription is going to be a very big issue for us to actually get. I have changed my research a little bit, and I'm going for enlistment officers just so I can actually attempt going for mass conscription. But the thing is, I don't feel like that should be one of the requirements for the Great Reformer, in my opinion. Unless this is just alluding to the fact that Alexander died way before he could implement all the ideas that he had in mind. Looks like Germany is just manually annexing all the other German nations so they can unify too. Oh no, the Kazakh people are addicted to opium. All right, let's see. Orthodoxy significantly more. How about here? 84 million Orthodox pop. So we're converting 40,000 a month. Holy schnitzel, dude. We still have a massive amount of Muslim Sunnis though. All these stands, I guess, is still predominantly Sunnis. The northern bits that we annexed a while back are starting to get the majority Orthodox though. So this takes a while to convert. We've modernized our nation and heavily industrialized it. So if you want to see the second part, don't forget to leave a like, and until the next time, take care of yourselves.